I'm Janice Corsano.
And I'm Christine Alexander.
And this is How to Survive Art School. In this episode,
the stress relief program.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have time for that, and the reason that we even called it that was because people don't realize how stressed they are, and the amount of stress, and being at a level 22, thinking that you're just stressed,
or that's normal.
That's your normal.
That's what it feels like to me a lot. Is that our last podcast was, that was the last one we recorded was the holiday one.
Right.
And the last one that was posted, though, was the end of 2 months ago.
Wait, what?
The
end of 2 months ago?
Yeah, so we had talked a lot about, 2 podcasts ago, we talked about, we wanted things to be simple and how to get things to be simple and just giving up. And we talked a little bit about
waving
career,
that white flag.
Yeah, waving that white flag, career, not doing what you think you ought to. It was the supposed to, stuff. And then the one after that was the holiday, where we talked a lot about, I had that moment where I realized why I like to but tend to prove that people don't care.
Yes, very big one for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Very common. I mean, it's very common, and we do it so easily.
Mm-hmm.
The holidays, and with them being over, and I mean, that was a blink.
Yeah.
Blink.
Close your eyes and
blink.
Now it's January.
Yep. I don't know. I couldn't, like I told you, got into them a little bit, but really didn't do a quarter of what I would normally have done for the holidays.
I wonder why it is that every year when it's the new year, when I start to write the date, I'll come up with the craziest dates. It's I have no, not even oops, I accidentally put 2015. I'll put I just recently was I gotta write the date on this, November 4th, 2015. I'm that's not even close.
You might be running closer to the real date.
Maybe.
It doesn't feel like we had Thanksgiving yet. It doesn't feel like we had Christmas yet. It doesn't feel like, it feels like we should have just did Halloween.
I know. That's what I, when I wrote that, I was that actually
might be closer to what it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, with the time going so fast, we really don't have 24 hours in a day.
Mm-hmm.
So the good news and the bad news. The good news is that you're way younger than you really think you are.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because we really don't have 24 hours in a day. So you're years younger.
That's weird because I feel really, really old.
Most people are saying that. It's because our energy-wise, as our bodies are being changed and stuff, we're feeling like everything hurts. It's we can't get out of our own way. We're exhausted. We can't do anything. But the day is so fast. And we, feels like we're going through so much, and all of our stuff is up in our face. And that being the case, and just talking to clients today, I mean, everybody was so they're okay, the holiday was okay. So it was either the holiday was okay. I heard very few people tell me that the holiday was easy. I had very few people tell me that the holiday was fun. Until after they got through the chaos, then it was fun.
Yeah.
It was okay, chaos. And then when everyone got together and we were eating and just chilling, then it was fun.
Yeah, it was the build up to it. There's all this tension sort of building up to it, and I saw people doing a lot of that proving of the I don't care. I'm doing so much. You know, why isn't anyone responding?
How come no one's helping me?
Yeah,
doing it all by myself.
Yeah.
You little shitheads that don't help.
Well,
the other people are running around and doing the same thing, and everyone felt the same way.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of funny because I, in just talking to you, I had made a conscious. I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna run around. I'm gonna do what I can. I'm gonna get people some nice things. I will put up some decorations, but I'm not gonna kill myself about it. And it was kind of funny because I felt a little bit the resentment of people who were what, why the hell is she okay?
Well,
Sorry.
there wasn't very many of them that were okay, so
Yeah.
trying, like, you had to be really aware
Mhm.
and actually, like, go, okay, what is it that I can do and what
Mhm.
is it that I can't do, and it's okay that I can't do it.
Mhm.
And we didn't have time. Like, I didn't do the second Christmas tree because I always have to.
Mhm.
And even doing the first Christmas tree was a big ordeal.
Mhm.
So that was like, okay, ornaments happened at the last minute.
Yeah, we put them up. What? Wait,
You
no,
didn't even
we didn't
get
put them up.
ornaments.
We didn't do
You
that.
didn't get ornaments, but that's what's kind of fun
Mhm.
because if you think about it, it's like we didn't do like all half the things that I would normally do, like to decorate the whole table for the dessert table. I looked at the dessert table and went, oh, well, guess I have to figure out how to put those things on there. Like,
Mhm.
nothing got decorated. It was more like, well, just move something over. Just
Yeah.
stick them over there. Like, it'll be fine.
Use your imaginations.
But it was, if I tried to do any of those things,
Mhm.
I would have ruined my whole day.
Yeah. Yeah, well that's a funny thing. It's like you have to make all these kind of concessions to where your energy is at, and that means like knowing and respecting,
okay.
that you have your limits, and it's a hard thing for people.
It was hard.
Apparently.
It was hard
Yeah.
because there's so many things that you're used to doing.
Mhm.
And there's when we talk about the guilt of, oh, I didn't do this, and the proof of, I don't know what I'm doing, there's something wrong with me, it's never good enough. I mean, we proved every single one of them that no one's there for us, that no one cares, that, I mean, geez, you name it, over this holidays, and December was rough. It went by so fast, so it was rough.
It was. It really did. And it's funny because then all of a sudden it's like, you have this rush up to, the Christmas holiday. And then all of a sudden it's like, it's this weird thing because then all of a sudden it's the new year too. And you're kind of like, I don't know what it is about that transition into now. Oh, and now I need to be thinking about forward thinking and setting my, New Year's resolutions
and intentions for what I'm going to do this
like,
year.
Fuck, like I'm not even
Right.
I'm not even here. Like
I didn't even get here. How did we even get here?
Yeah.
2016. What is that? What are we supposed to do? I'm not ready. I'm not.
Yeah.
But I think with which is one of the reasons, because today is Mercury retrograde starting, and with Mercury retrograde starting, and we already have enough miscommunication.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that maybe we had this on top of the miscommunication. It'll make like a 180, and we'll actually communicate really well.
Well, that could be interesting. It's like a
like
double negative.
Yeah.
Oh,
double
and we're
negative,
good.
And we're good.
We're all communicating clearly.
And we're all clear. And probably not. So everyone just if take it a little slow on the communication. Make sure you're very clear, and really work on not taking things personal. I mean, the thing that we really need to look at when it comes to stuff like this is Mercury retrograde helps us with past stuff. We're all dealing with past stuff. It's all in our face. So whatever it is our thing. Like wherever it falls, like it lands in each person's area, house area. So sometimes it's relationships, sometimes, but it's all of those things that will come up. But for whatever house that it lands in for you, that'll be more of the thing that. So say if it's like someone's career is more the thing that they have to deal with. Where other people it might be a relationship. I think when you feel like you're not communicating and that no one's getting you and that our electronics are breaking down left and right, as we know, like my phone stopped working, like I was telling you. All of a sudden it just went black. I'm like, oh no, I don't have time for this. Although it's kind of funny, you should not say that, I don't have time for this, because we don't have time. And me saying you don't have time for this is the thing I tell you guys not to do all the time. It's like, yes, it's self-fulfilling prophecy. We don't have time. So I'm going to now say we don't have time. So then I have to cancel that. And that's the other thing that you guys, it's really important. Cancel, cancel, cancel. Like when you say something and you put it out into the universe, which would be an old thing that we don't want out there, that we don't want to create, cancel it. And say it 3 times. Cancel, cancel, cancel. It takes it so that the universe doesn't get it. It's
I've been doing that. I'll do that. I'll be like, wait, no. Like, put that back.
put that back. Take it back.
But I hadn't said it, I don't think, 3 times. But I actually was thinking about that the other day, too. Like, I was thinking about, like, when you say something, like, that's an energy you put out, and that energy continues. Like, so when you, like, it's kind of funny, but I was kind of thinking about how, when you're trying to manifest or, you're saying your affirmations or things like that, it really made sense to me that, like, our our words are energy, you know, the intention we put behind them, like that goes out into the universe, and it doesn't stop. It's
No.
always out there. It's always traveling. So like
It's
the more
infinite.
you do something, the more that collects. It's kind of
Right.
like I have like this visual image of that, and I was like wondering if that's something I created or if that's like a real
No, it's
like
actually
kind
a
of
real thing
thing.
because it doesn't stop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there is
Mm-hmm.
energy is infinite. You know, it's like when they talk about math and trying to figure out like math is infinite. It doesn't end.
Hmm.
So you could be counting forever. If you start counting now,
Oh yeah.
you would never.
I was like, okay. I was like, what does this mean? Like,
that means you
being
could,
in math class sometimes feels like it's gonna be. I'll be there for infinity. But, oh God, get me out of here.
That's true, and it does depend on the math you take.
Yeah.
But actually, as we know, like
Mm-hmm.
math goes on forever. So
Mm-hmm.
if you started counting today, you could,
Mm-hmm.
you know, literally count for the rest of your life and
Mhm.
just sit here and count, not eat, not do anything, and still count
Mm-hmm.
and never run out because it
Mhm.
goes on forever, and so do we, because we are light energy, and the idea that if we put something out into the universe that it would be still going.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's no place for it not to go. Like where would it die?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it is energy.
Mm-hmm.
So the collective, you know, it's like we're a collective of. So that's why when we're putting out so much negativity and so much stress and so much
Mhm.
overwhelmed energy,
Mm-hmm.
that's why we feel so much of it. We're,
Mhm.
you know, we're getting bombarded.
Mm-hmm.
It's like raining down on us, and we're like, okay, well, what do we do with this? We're overwhelmed, stressed out, and we don't even know we are most of the time. And that's what we talk about why we're even doing the stress relief program.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have time for that, and the
Mhm.
reason that we even called it that was because, you know, people don't realize how stressed they are,
Mm-hmm.
and the amount of stress, and the, you know, being at a level 22 thinking that you're just
Yeah.
stressed,
Or that's normal.
yeah, that's your normal.
That's what it feels like to me a lot, is that people treat being stressed as a way to live their lives. Like that's what's normal. Everyone is. It's almost like a bonding thing. Like that's how we, you know, talk about things like, oh, well, this happened, and we're bonding over it. Like
We do
it's
tend
just
to bond.
normal.
We do tend to bond over things that are bad
Mm-hmm.
and other people, talking about other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a way, like if it's gossip and stuff, we tend to bond over stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
When we could actually bond over things that are more positive, that would actually, you know, be more positive in our life. So bonding over maybe an activity that we enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
bonding over something positive, or trying to keep each other in a positive.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, catching each other and being like, oh wait, no, we're trying to put out something good. Let's put out something good. You know, and if there is somebody that, whatever reason you don't like them, that you
Mhm.
actually look at it and be like, what is it in me?
Yeah.
You know, wait a minute, what is it in me? Because,
Mhm.
you know, there's a mirror. And usually
Mhm.
what we don't like in someone else is because we have it.
Right. Yeah, I was I had a few things that came up while you were talking about that. The first thing I was thinking was like the idea of, you know, it's almost like taboo to be like, no, I'm doing okay. Like things are going pretty good. Like at least in me, and maybe that's a me thing, but I find I would feel awkward if someone was like, and this happened, da 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 da. Like, anyway, enough about me. Like, what's up with you? And I'd be like, things are good. Like I would, you know, it's like almost like you don't say that in this culture because it's not
okay to
it's
be
not okay to be okay. And like, so I was thinking about that, and then
well, a lot of people, because most people don't really talk. Like,
Yeah.
they don't really tell you what's going on. Their energy does, but they
Mhm.
don't. So
Mhm.
most people will say, everyone tends to say, if you say, hi, how are you?
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
hanging in,
Mhm.
you know. But if you stop and talk to them, then they'll say, you know, like if they're a friend that's close enough, they'll,
Mhm.
you know, give you a little bit more info. But would they be unhappy if you say you're okay? Probably not.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, I can see that would be something it's like I'm afraid to, you know, divulge that, like, you know, I've been doing the work now for a little bit, and definitely I have bad days and I have like bad moments and all the things, but I'm starting to see more now, like that I can kind of make that a choice to either be there or to be, you know, elsewhere, and that's okay. I
And
don't
you do
know.
it, and you do it way more. So the fact that you are okay,
Mhm.
and that you feel okay more so than not,
Mhm.
and you know you are doing the work, is a testament to you doing the work.
Mm.
And it would be helpful for other people to understand why you're okay.
Well, and that's interesting too. I mean, I know, you know, we talked recently about like, the time has really come for people to stop just sort of, doing that zombie thing where they're just living their lives and they're not, they're having those patterns, they're doing the same thing over and over again. And they'll say, I know I should be doing this to feel better, or, I
there's so many
can't get to
things.
that thing that I know will help me.
There's so many things.
And so they don't do it. And it's kind of like, I remember you saying recently to me, like, well, it's really time now for you to start doing the things that you know will help you.
We don't really have a choice anymore,
Mm-hmm.
because that choice is being taken because we've been taking it ourselves, meaning we're actually saying enough. We don't realize we're saying enough,
Mm-hmm.
but you'll hear it in yourself. You'll hear yourself say it.
Mm-hmm.
Enough, I don't want to do this. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
So we're actually saying, I want this over with,
Mm-hmm.
which means we have to learn it.
Mm-hmm.
So if we want it over with, it has to get big enough for us to actually heal from it and be able to grow and learn and do the things that we came to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to get bigger and bigger. The idea that we could, bitch and moan and complain about it or keep repeating it, we repeat things for a long time before we get them. We do. And it's okay that you do. The problem is that if you think that you can't actually learn from it, because most people think that's actually truth. Like, meaning if a person doesn't care, and then they prove it with another person that they just aren't cared about. That's just the way people are. And that's probably not truth.
Right. And so that's what you mean by repeating. It's like, having that same, what that feels like that same experience over and over again. People don't care. Okay, I'll get rid of that person. Find someone else. That person doesn't care.
That person doesn't care.
And that's what you mean by getting bigger. And
then they'll feel like there's more of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll feel like, okay, so now my mom's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Now my dad's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It was bad enough my boyfriend was doing it. Now my friend's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I do all this stuff for them. I go out of my way for them. I do all these things. And I asked for one little thing, and they couldn't even do it.
Right.
You know, like whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
it'll be whatever pushes your button so that it looks like and appears to you and feels like to you that they're showing you that they don't care or that you're not important or you don't matter to them.
Right. And it's sort of more in you. It's like whatever you think is the final straw. Like this, this is the final straw.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like if you sort of backed up and removed, your feelings from that situation, you might be like, well, that, out here that isn't that big a deal. But for some reason, when I'm me and my body with all of, my, stuff, that felt like that's the final straw.
Yeah, and with all
and
your
that's
stuff.
that's what you mean by being big.
Right. With all your stuff. And that idea of all your stuff,
Mm-hmm.
it has to get all your stuff is trying to purge. It's trying to come out. It's trying to heal.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea that we can run and hide from our stuff now
Mm-hmm.
is kind of funny because people are trying to still run and hide.
Mm-hmm.
And they've actually noticed, because I hear people say it a lot, the drugs don't help, the alcohol ain't helping, nothing's helping that used to numb it.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's, I'm just worse,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm numb for a little bit, but it's then bigger when I, and it's not like alcohol doesn't tend to numb it for that long a time. Drugs doesn't tend to numb it for that long a time. Did it before? A little bit more than it does now.
Mm-hmm.
From what I understand from people. I don't actually drink or do drugs, but
well,
I may
good.
start.
Yeah.
I may start after
Well,
this
you
year.
should try. Give it a try. You might be surprised. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
But the things that from feeling that, because I will feel people's, being so empathic, I will feel people high, and I will feel them drunk, and what the difference is. And it's very interesting about how that actually feels,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't lower, alcohol intenses emotion.
Mm-hmm.
So you see a lot of people that are drinking, and they're emotionally more intense.
Yeah.
It depends on, what kind of drug they're taking, if they're trying to,
Numb
numb out.
out or,
Right.
or
But even them, it's still short acting,
mm-hmm.
So, and then you wake up from that, and then you feel more pissed off about that too, because now you've got more of a problem.
Yeah.
I got a drug problem, and I spent money, and I did this. So not only did you prove all that shit and how you're an idiot and you don't know what the hell you're doing and what the hell's wrong with you, so you add that to the mix, and then your guilt, and then it starts to get to be like, see, I'm just fucked up. I'm a mess. There's nothing that's ever going to make it better. There's nothing that's going to change it, and it's actually in you. And you'll get to see you're the common denominator of all of it. It's like, how could everybody make you feel the same way?
It's weird though, because like before, spending time with you and really, talking about this stuff, I wouldn't have, it was just the way the world works. And it's like all these people who, if we're talking about like addiction or the things that people do to try to like, I really look at it as sort of, get themselves out of whatever pain or things are happening in their life, or they, they'll
Right.
have their own reasons for doing stuff, but like,
Absolutely.
but that it's like, I almost feel like people don't really realize that that's, they're not seeing the, like what you said, the common denominator aspect of that they're doing anything but work on themselves. Like
Yeah.
it's this funny thing, like,
Well, in
because
that
they don't see
department-
that they're supposed to, or that
right.
that
'Cause
it's
that's
them.
That's not a taught thing either. Like the taught thing is more don't ask questions.
Mhm.
It's not more taught to ask questions, look at yourself, because we all already feel like we're not enough.
Mhm.
You know, our bottom line on this planet is that we're not good enough.
Mhm.
Now that's too big to fix, which is why we break it down into different beliefs that are actually ones that come up, so we could actually go through and fix them. Because not good enough is too big, is the whole thing.
Mhm.
But when you think about like the idea of looking at yourself and you already think that it's bad,
Mhm.
then looking at yourself is only going to make it worse. It's not
Mhm.
going to make it better when it actually isn't as bad as you think.
Mhm.
And when you actually see that it's a program, meaning that it's a taught belief, and that most of the time, I mean, is there stuff that's wrong with us that we're changing?
Mhm.
Not wrong in the way we think, like wrong, like there's something wrong. It's more that it doesn't work for us.
Mhm.
So if we're not, able to do this and are there things that we're better at than other things? Absolutely. Is that okay? Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
It's not like, that's the whole idea of being different.
Mhm.
That
And
would
you're
be,
learning.
yeah, that would be the whole point. It would be like, wow, if I really enjoy doing something and I
Mhm.
try doing it and I'm not that good at it,
Mhm.
wouldn't I have to practice more to get better at it? And because I, really wanted it, that I
Mhm.
would actually probably get really good at it
Mhm.
because I was enjoying it. Yeah, I think everything that we do is practice. And with this work, it's practice.
Mhm.
And people will say, oh, well, my relationship's doing the same thing. I'm like, you spend 6 hours a day doing whatever, it could be, playing a video game, or could be, taking a class, or could be doing homework, or could be, working out, or whatever they spend hours a day doing.
Mhm.
And I go, and how much time you spend on reprogramming your brain,
Yeah.
changing this?
Mhm.
Because you'll do it here and there, but you won't do it as a regular thing.
Mhm.
And it'll be like, oh. I'm like, if you just be aware that it's the same thing and everyone looks the same, that they
Mhm.
start to look the same, even though they couldn't possibly be.
So like maybe that would be a good thing. Like what would you say, like, I mean, what would that look like reprogramming your brain? Like just a really simple, easy thing that people could do to like begin that. I mean, maybe it's the hypnotherapy, like you have those.
That's probably the easiest way, because we're
Mhm.
putting in something that's going to go right to our subconscious, because where
Mhm.
the program plays is in our subconscious mind.
Mhm.
Our conscious mind doesn't have it, and we're getting to hear a lot more of it, which is kind of nice and amazing, because a lot
Mhm.
of our thoughts that we actually hear
Mhm.
are from our subconscious, and we're like, wow, I think some real terrible shit about myself
Mhm.
and other people and the world.
Yeah, but you don't. But that's sort of like.
But that's sort of the proof,
Yeah.
and when you think it about yourself, you have all kinds of proof to say why you actually think that.
Yeah.
That-
Oh, here's this example. Oh, I messed this up. It's like, okay, well, you did 10 things right. You did the 11th thing wrong.
right,
And
the
that
only one you
11th
counted.
thing is like, what proves you're an awful person or whatever it is.
Yeah, we
you're
don't
trying to
count the
say.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10, they don't count at all,
Mhm.
which is why we tend to focus only on the negative, not the positive. It's like, why would we focus on, when we go, like, because I make you guys make all proof of the opposite cards and,
Mhm.
different things to show you, but
Mhm.
but if we're talking about something simple and easy, that's why that's why I made the foundation CDs,
Mhm.
the self-worth one, just to put in that we deserve something better.
Mhm.
Because most people don't feel like they deserve. That's, not, we would think that would be a given. I think we deserve good things just because our ass showed up.
Mhm. Yeah.
We chose to come here, but we knew it was going to be like this.
Right.
And we have no memory of it. And we know it's going to be like that too. So I'm like, all right, we need to just feel like we deserve something good to happen.
Yeah.
To feel like you're loved, to feel like you're honored, cherished,
Right.
valued, respected.
Mhm.
But I think, just putting that in,
Mhm.
just starting to reprogram that. And that goes right into your subconscious. And the next one is the experiencing new expectations, which is where it helps you to do something different.
Mhm.
If there's something that you know how to do really well and something that you're having a hard time with, you could swap them. You could actually use the tools from what you already know.
Mhm.
And then the self-esteem, because it's like, you feel like you deserve, and then you're able to do something, and then you have the confidence to go out and do it. So just, I call them the foundation CDs, self-worth, experiencing expectations, and self-esteem. Those are the three, main ones. There's so many other ones, like the abundance and relationships and all different kinds, and weight loss and stop smoking and, many more. But just for foundation, to start doing something different, to put something in that's going to be a positive influence, and you'll start to tell, like, very quickly, you'll start to tell, like, just feeling like, wow, maybe I do something a little bit different, or maybe I think a little bit less negative, or maybe,
because it takes practice. It's like that.
Practice.
It's an energy thing. Like
On next week's episode,
when we get down to it, like when we take all the other emotions, we only have two, fear and love. Those are our two. Most of us live in fear. I'd say 99.9999%. Very few people can just say they live in love. And that's kind of the point of what we're working on doing here, on the planet, is to actually live in a place that no longer has fear. Then we're not controlled by anyone. We wouldn't be afraid of anything. It's such a weird concept, like, when you think about it. It's like to not be afraid of anything. That we